Hello YouTube. This video is about how to stop worrying about your filmmaking career and play big in the film industry.
I'm going to shoot something really big.
Welcome. If you are new here, this is the channel where we teach you how to monetize your filmmaking career and how to turn your career into a business. So I have spoken to well over 2,200 filmmakers in the last 3 years, whether it's through conferences or whether it's through one-on-one strategy calls through a consultancy I run, or whether it is on film sets. And filmmakers who I talk to, especially through my consultancy, are worried a lot, and especially now. They're very scared about the fact that they have all of this talent and these stories inside them, and they don't know how to get them out. And in 9 out of 10 circumstances, and I don't mean this to accuse them of anything, but they blame it on money and access. And clearly those two things matter, but they don't happen to you, right? One needs to make them happen. One needs to set, I always say, build the container that allows that to happen, right? Which means building the business that allows that to happen. And we can get into tactics and we can get into things like that, but I really want to talk about the psychological and emotional well-being of being a filmmaker who's coming up, who's trying to quote unquote make it. And worry seems to occupy most people's brain. And then once that happens for long enough, that becomes your identity. There becomes this idea of living in scarcity, living in a mindset of there isn't enough to go around. I'm here to tell you there is plenty of money in this industry, and educating yourself on how to use it as a tool rather than as this end goal, creating a business that knows exactly what it is, like those are all the business things. But on the emotional end, you know, these are simply circumstances in our life, and worry and fear are just not business tools. They don't further anything. They occupy so much time that in fact one can't focus to just get the work done. So I want you to do this. I want you to, instead of having to-do lists, which for me are these wastelands of disappointment, right? They're just this never-ending sort of busyness. I want you to concentrate on creating a significance list. What are the most significant things you can do today that are going to make tomorrow better? What are the things that you can do that are going to have impact in the next hour? And maybe that's all we can concentrate on, is just what am I going to do in this hour? Maybe it's even the next 5 minutes. Because if we start thinking about the future, it's this Mount Everest of madness, this insurmountable barrier filled with 1,000 little problems, instead of just concentrating maybe on the most significant thing we can do today. And today is just a little pebble. It's not Mount Everest. We can step over that or go around it quite easily. But when we start living in the future and we start telling ourselves that it's impossible, of course that's what happens. Now, I may be getting a little woo-woo here, but during this time, I'm hearing a lot of fear from filmmakers for very good reason. The filmmaking world is in turmoil. If you work on crews or if you're a camera op or a DP, like those jobs are starting to become scarcer. So what do you do with this fear? You know, most people they think it's something to be removed. It's not. It's a messenger. It's telling you that you need to deal with something, and until you deal with that part of your career, which is part of your life, which is, for us creators, we make from who we really are. So these things become like children to us. So of course we're scared. But there's nothing to remove. It's just a messenger telling you to figure out a certain thing. And whatever you're afraid of most is the thing you need to deal with and confront right up front. And as filmmakers, we have so much potential, and that's the thing I think drives people nuts, is it's just untapped potential, it's unused potential. And that if people would just see us, we could have an impact in the industry and in the world. But if a doctor were to come in and try to surgically remove something called fear, they would find nothing. So instead of caving into that fear, allow it, like radically allow it. Radically allow this to be there. Feel it for real. Sit in it. And I promise you what happens is it starts to change shape. Where does it sit in your body? Is it in your throat? Is it in your chest? Does it come out as anger? What is it? And just sit in it. Feel it. Feel the big emotion, because that's the world we live in. That's what our trade craft is human emotion and human connection. And pretty soon you're going to have this relationship with fear. Let it in. Look at it as a little kind of wounded kid, and open up that door and let it in and say, you've been with me for a while. I get it. You're not going anywhere. So here's the deal. And I had to make a deal with my own fear. I had to say, look, we're going in this car, and I used to let you drive this car, but that's over now. You don't get to drive, definitely. You don't get to touch the radio, and you definitely don't get to put your hands on the map. In fact, you're sitting in the back seat, and you're gonna shut up, because I got stuff to do. And I had to make a deal with that. And then we live in these moments of fear for so long that our thoughts become those same things every day. I had to make a deal with my brain. I had to say, listen, brain, you treat me like crap. You treat me and say the worst things to me. So I don't need you to do certain things. And one of it is I don't need your opinion. So I'm gonna work on this, and you just sit down there and you shut up, because the things you're telling me are taking away my power. And we as filmmakers literally have the power to move culture, to move society. Films are very powerful things. I always say they're the owner's manuals for life in wherever you live. And think about that power we have, and think about how we club that power every day to keep it down and tell ourselves we're not good enough. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not only good enough, but I want you to get up right now and stand in your living room with your arms wide open and stand in your own fucking greatness. Doesn't mean that everybody else isn't great at the expense of your greatness. It just means that there is no one lesser or greater than you. And Hollywood is not run by smarter people than you. It is run by people who are just as afraid as you are. So fear, self-doubt, self-pity, these are the things that stop us from being successful. We very often don't have a social media problem. We don't have a script problem. We don't have a resource problem or an access problem. We have an us problem. Everything we make comes from us. And I'm here to tell you, and this may sound scary, but the reality of it is the lifeboat ain't coming, right? The cavalry isn't coming over the hill to save you. This, for better or for worse, is a career where we do it alone. In the idea that so many people come through our lives temporarily, and at the end of the night, as filmmakers, it's our idea. They don't care about our idea as much as we do, and if they do, you're in trouble. So don't expect them to. We let go of this fear, we're free. We're free to make huge decisions, take huge risks, let go of practicality, and let go of reasonableness. Those have no place here. Those are short roads to mediocrity. So if this is how you feel, I'm going to leave a link down below and we can have a talk for as long as you need to talk, because you can't carry this alone, but you also got to do this on your own. Nobody can change you for you. You got to change if this is where you feel. If you're rocking it, great. But if you want to talk, I'm going to leave a link on how to schedule a call with me. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification button so that you're notified of upcoming videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. And I'm talking to you.